Hello everyone. Now we will do Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is a novel by Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte Bronte is a great novelist from Victorian age of English literature. She was born in 1816 and she was the third child of her parents Patrick Bronte and Maria Bronte. Charlotte Bronte's two sisters, Emily Bronte and Anne Bronte, were also novelists. Emily Bronte was famous for or known for her novel Wuthering Heights, and Anne Bronte is for her novel Agnes Grey. Charlotte Bronte died in 1855 at the age of just 39, and it was at the age of 31 that Charlotte Bronte published her novel Jane Eyre. At this time, female writers published their works or their novels under the pseudonyms and assumed masculine names. So, in this sequence, Charlotte Bronte published her this present novel under the pseudonym Career Bear, that is a masculine name. Now we will see Charlotte Bronte as a novelist, and we will see that what are the chief features of Charlotte Bronte as a novelist. Charlotte Bronte certainly does not belong to the highest class of English novelists, but she certainly occupies a high rank among them. She wrote only four novels, and yet she was able to show in these novels her genius as a novelist. We know that she was not a prolific writer. She wrote only four novels, and in these four novels, she had given ample evidence of her skill as a novelist. In these four novels, she presents herself as a delineator of human character. The two most important requirements of a novel are a gripping story and a convincing portrayal of the character. And we can find certainly we can say that there are certain other requirements too. For instance, the capacity to evoke such emotions as sympathy, pity, compassion, fear, and terror. Another requirement of a good novel is wit and humor to amuse the reader and to relieve the strain and stress of the story. A good storyteller is capable also of creating suspense in the mind of the reader at various points in the narrative in order to arouse his curiosity and eagerness to know what happens next. And we can find all these qualities in Charlotte Bronte's novels in an ample amount. And these three sisters were capable of writing grim and poignant stories. Now we will see that what are the essential subjects for the novels of Charlotte Bronte and her sister Anne Bronte. The essential subject of these sisters are is the soul of woman, cramped by loneliness, poverty, and social insignificance, but supported by a consciousness of her intelligence, her true gentility, and above all by the generosity, elevation, candor, and dynamic force of a superior spirit. The actual status of these women as governants and teachers, as well as other causes of subjection and humiliation. These qualities are reflected in Jane Eyre and Agnes Grey by her sister Anne Bronte. And romanticism. Romanticism is the animating force behind the novels of Charlotte Bronte. In the works of Charlotte Bronte, it is again romanticism which is the animating force. Hence, this force gives the life to her novels. But a romanticism of individual passion, similar to that of the previous generation. The novelty in the present case lies in the quality of the soul which thus shares its deeper secrets with the reader, and one might also trace it to the fact of the author's being a woman. The femininity of the writer explains the delicacy which intermingles with the ardor of sentiment in her studies of love, and the subtle sense of originality which is diffused through the substance of the emotions and the very outlook upon life. The pure and yet outspoken confessions contained in her pages inaugurate in England that free revelation of sentiment which for three quarters of a century is to be the special contribution of feminine literature to our knowledge of the heart. Along with the romanticism in her novels, we can see that deft psychological analysis of her novels is also notable. The other novels, less influenced by the search for violent emotions, develop around one central theme, the magnetism which subjugates the force of tenderness, be it humble or proud, in the love of woman, to the commanding radiance of a manly personality. This inevitable theme, in which we touch upon the secrets of Charlotte Bronte's own life, leaves room for depth psychological analysis and shrewd descriptions. So we can say that in her novels we find psychological analysis of characters, pictures of everyday life, even scenes from social history. A school in Brussels towards 1840, Yorkshire at the time of the Liddell riots, and a concrete interest in to Villette or Sally. The spirit of these episodes is not always without its stings. Charlotte Bronte can handle irony at will. Her satirical picture of society on the continent is not free from some insular stiffness. Yet, when all is said, these works, with their restlessness, are replete with a kind of sly fancy, a pleasing spreadness of mind. But even the charm of their piquant observation is overshadowed by the great wave of impassioned lyricism which from time to time sweeps through their passages.